Hello, future travelers. Welcome back to Legalopolis. Today, we are breaking down the different EB visa categories for those of you moving to the United States for work. And I promise that by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how each category can help you secure a green card based on your skills and your job. Stay tuned and let's get started. Friends, most of you are probably aware that EB stands for Employment Based Immigrant Visas. These visas are available for individuals based on their employment, skills, or investment abilities. These visas are specifically designed for individuals seeking permanent residency in the United States, and there are 5 preference categories within these employment-based immigrant visas. EB1, which is for priority workers, and they have the highest preference, followed by EB2, that is for professionals with advanced degrees or exceptional ability, EB3, which is meant for skilled workers, professionals, and other workers, EB4, which is meant for special immigrants, and EB5, which is meant for immigrant investors. Now, friends, let's focus our attention on EB1, that is Employment-Based Immigration First Preference applicants. Now, EB1 visa applicants receive the highest priority in green card processing within the employment-based immigration system. Each year, a set number of green cards are allocated to employment-based categories, with EB1 visa applicants being given priority. Hence, their applications are typically processed faster, often resulting in shorter wait times compared to EB2 and EB3 visa categories. The family members of EB1 visa holders, that is spouse and unmarried children under 21, can join the EB1 visa holder in the United States, and these family members must apply to accompany the visa holder either simultaneously or after the EB1 visa applicant's application. You may be eligible for EB1 visa if you fall into one of the 3 subcategories, that is EB1A, EB1B, and EB1C. Now let's look at the first subcategory, that is EB1A. Now this category is for non-citizens with extraordinary abilities. They need to prove that they have expertise either in the sciences, arts, education, business, or athletics. Although no specific job offer or labor certification is required, if the applicant continues to work in the field of extraordinary ability, they can also file their own immigrant petition, that is I-140 with USCIS, and to demonstrate sustained national or international acclaim, they must provide evidence of a one-time achievement like a Pulitzer, Oscar, or Olympic medal, or meet 3 of these criteria like recognized prizes, elite association memberships, media publications about them, judging others' work, major contributions, scholarly articles, artistic exhibitions, leading roles in top organizations, high salary, or commercial success in the performing arts. Then let's look at the second subcategory, and that category is EB1B. So friends, EB1B is for outstanding professors and researchers. To qualify, you need at least 3 years of experience in teaching or research in a specific academic field. You must also demonstrate international recognition for your outstanding achievements in that field. Additionally, you must be entering the United States to pursue a tenure or tenure track teaching position, or a comparable research role at a university, institution of higher education, or a private employer. Now friends, a tenure track teaching position is a job at a university or college that leads to tenure, that is a permanent secure position. Now tenure provides professors with job security and the freedom to pursue their research and teaching interests without the fear of losing their job. In order to qualify as an outstanding professor or researcher under EB1B category, you must provide at least 2 types of evidence from the 6 criteria, like either major awards or membership in prestigious associations, published review or articles about your work, proof of serving as a judge in your field, significant original contributions to research, or authorship of scholarly books or articles in top journals. And in order to sponsor an outstanding professor or researcher under the EB1B category, the prospective US employer must provide a job offer and file Form I-140, that is Immigrant Petition for Alien Worker, with USCIS. Private employers need to demonstrate documented achievements and employ at least 3 full-time researchers. However, it is important to note that no labor certification is required for this visa category. Now friends, let's move on to the third subcategory, EB1C, which is for multinational managers or executives. To qualify, you must have worked outside the United States for at least 1 year in the past 3 years for a foreign affiliate, parent, subsidiary, or branch of the US employer, and your role must have been managerial or executive. Additionally, you need to be coming to the United States to work in a similar managerial or executive position. For the EB1C visa category, the US employer must offer a job, must have been operating in the United States for at least 1 year. They must have a qualifying relationship with the foreign company where the applicant worked, and they need to employ the applicant in a managerial or executive role. The employer then needs to file Form I-140 with USCIS. However, no labor certification is required for this visa category as well. Now friends, let's move on to the EB2 category, which is for professionals holding advanced degrees or persons of exceptional ability. To start, the employer must first obtain a PERM certification from the Department of Labor by filing Form 9089, that is the Application for Permanent Employment Certification. Once the PERM certification is secured, the employer can then file Form I-140, that is Petition for Alien Worker, with USCIS. For more details on the PERM process, do check out my video on transitioning from an H-1B visa to a green card. Now friends, after your I-140 petition is approved, your spouse and unmarried children under 21 can join you in the United States under E21 and E22 immigrant status respectively. Now friends, let's break down the 3 main subcategories under the EB2 visa. Subcategory 1, individuals with advanced degrees. Now in order to qualify, the job must require an advanced degree, and you must have a job offer from a United States employer who's willing to sponsor you. The position must align with your advanced degree, which can be a master's or a doctorate or its equivalent. However, if you only have a bachelor's degree, you must have at least 5 years of progressive work experience in that field. Additionally, you must meet any extra requirements listed in the PERM certification for your priority date. And as evidence, you'll need to provide official academic records showing your advanced degree or its equivalent, and if applicable, documents showing a bachelor's degree with verification of 5 years of relevant work experience. For jobs requiring a doctoral degree, you must have a US doctorate or its foreign equivalent. Now let's look at subcategory 2, that is individuals with exceptional ability. Now here, you need a job offer from a United States employer willing to sponsor you, and the job must be in your area of exceptional ability. And in order to qualify, you must demonstrate exceptional ability in the sciences, arts, or business by meeting at least 3 of these criteria, like holding an academic degree in the field, having at least 10 years of full-time experience, possessing a license or certification, showing evidence of a salary indicating exceptional ability, being a member of a relevant professional association, or providing proof of recognition from experts or organizations, or submitting any other relevant evidence of exceptional ability. Now let's look at subcategory 3, the National Interest Waiver, or NIW, also known as EB2 NIW. Friends, this is a unique employment-based visa that differs from others because it allows applicants to bypass job offer and labor certification requirements if their work benefits the United States. Furthermore, NIW, that is National Interest Waiver applicants, can self-petition, meaning they don't need a sponsor. Friends, USCIS evaluates several factors to decide whether a NIW would be granted. Number 1, the proposed work must have substantial merit and national importance, meaning it must bring significant value to the United States. Number 2, the applicant needs to be well positioned to advance the work independently, demonstrating that they are highly qualified. And finally, it must be in United States' interest to waive the job offer and labor certification requirements. Now friends, to qualify for the NIW, the applicants must meet specific requirements. They need to hold an academic degree in their field and have at least 10 years of full-time experience. They should possess a relevant license or certification, provide evidence of a salary indicative of exceptional ability, be a member of a relevant professional association, and show recognition from field experts. Other comparable evidence of exceptional ability might also be submitted. Now friends, let's move on to the EB3 category, which is the third preference for employment-based immigrant visas. This category is opened to skilled workers, professionals, and unskilled workers, also known as other workers. Now there are two key prerequisites for the EB3 visa. Number 1, an approved labor certification is required, which is obtained using Form ETA 9089 from the Department of Labor. This certification ensures that hiring a foreign worker will not negatively impact American workers. And secondly, a permanent full-time job offer is essential for EB3 visa application. Now for the application process, your employer must file Form I-140, that is Immigration Petition for Alien Workers, and demonstrate their ability to pay the offered wage from priority date. This can be proven through an annual report, federal income tax, or audited financial statements. As regards family members, once your I-140 petition is approved, your spouse and unmarried children under 21 can apply to join you in the United States. Your spouse can then apply under E34 for skilled workers or professionals, or EW4 for other workers, while your children can apply under E35 for skilled workers or professionals, or EW5 for other workers. Now friends, the EB3 visa category is divided into three subcategories. Number 1, skilled workers. This subcategory is for individuals whose job requires at least 2 years of training or experience, which must be non-temporary and non-seasonal. To qualify, you need to demonstrate at least 2 years of relevant job experience, education, or training that meets the job requirements specified on the labor certification. Relevant post-secondary education can count as training as well. Additionally, you must show that you are performing work for which qualified US workers are not available. Number 2, the second subcategory, professionals. This category is for individuals whose jobs require at least a US bachelor's degree or its equivalent from another country and who work in a recognized profession. You need to prove that you have a US bachelor's degree or its foreign equivalent and that this degree is typically required for the occupation. You must also be working in a job for which there are no available qualified US workers. Note that a bachelor's degree cannot be substituted with education or experience. Additionally, you must meet any extra requirements specified on the labor certification. And then comes the third subcategory, unskilled workers, also known as other workers. This subcategory is for individuals performing unskilled labor that requires less than 2 years of training or experience, and the work must be permanent rather than temporary or seasonal. You must demonstrate that you can perform unskilled work requiring less than 2 years of training or experience, and that this work is not just temporary or seasonal. Additionally, you must show that there are no qualified US workers available for this job and meet any additional requirements that are specified on the labor certification. Next, let's discuss the EB4 visa, which is the fourth preference category for employment-based immigration. You might qualify for an EB4 visa if you are a special immigrant. This category includes several specific groups. Number 1, religious workers, members of a religious denomination coming to work for a non-profit religious organization in the United States, or juveniles who need court protection due to abuse, abandonment, or neglect by a parent, certain broadcasters, retired officers or employees from G4 international organizations or NATO 6 civilians and their families, certain US government employees abroad, members of the US Armed Forces, Panama Canal Company or Canal Zone government employees, physicians practicing medicine in the United States as of 1978, and non-citizens providing information on criminal or terrorist organizations. And for certain EB4 classifications, your spouse and unmarried children under 21 may also be eligible to join you in the United States. Finally, let's cover the EB5 category, also known as the Employment Fifth Preference for Immigrant Investors. It is managed by USCIS, and this program allows investors, along with their spouses and unmarried children under 21, to apply for a green card. Established by Congress in 1990, the EB5 program aims to boost the US economy through foreign investment and job creation. It was expanded in 1992 with the Immigrant Investor Program or Regional Center Program, which offers EB5 visas to those investing in businesses linked to USCIS-approved regional centers focused on economic growth. And in order to qualify, an investor must invest in a US commercial enterprise and must plan to create or preserve at least 10 permanent full-time jobs for qualified US workers. Now friends, that we have clarity on EB1 to EB5 visa categories, let's look at the annual limits on employment-based preference visas. Currently, there are 140 immigrant visas allotted each year for these categories. Each of the EB1, EB2 and EB3 categories receive 28.6% of this total, while the EB4 and EB5 categories each get 7.1%. Occasionally, the total number of available visas can exceed 140,000. This happens when unused family-based visas from the previous fiscal year are added to the employment-based quota. For example, in fiscal year 2024, that is running from October 1st, 2023 to 30th of September 2024, the total number of employment-based visas increased to 161,000. This increased total is then distributed across 5 visa categories according to their specific percentages. Now friends, let's take a look at some key points from the annual report of immigrant visa applicants at the National Visa Center as of 1st of November 2023. As you can see from this graph, about 85% of employment-based immigrant cases are processed through adjustment of status with USCIS, which occurs within the United States. This means that most cases are handled domestically rather than through consular processing abroad. The waiting list numbers include not just the primary applicants but also their spouses and children. Now, countries like China, India, the Philippines, Mexico, and South Korea have the highest numbers on the waiting list, accounting for almost 65.2% of the total. Finally, let's discuss the validity of EB visas. All employment-based immigrant visas, including EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, and EB5, lead to permanent residency in the United States, granting individuals a permanent resident card, also known as a green card. EB visa holders have the right to live and work in the United States indefinitely. While permanent residency itself does not expire, The physical green card is typically valid for 10 years and must be renewed at that interval. However, for EB5 visa holders, there's an initial 2 period of conditional residency, and after this period, investors must apply to remove the conditions to receive a standard green card, which then follows the same 10-year renewal requirements as other green cards. So friends, as promised at the beginning of this video, we've now wrapped up our exciting journey through EB1 to EB5 visa categories. We've explored everything from the top-tier professionals of EB1 to the investment opportunities of EB5, including visa availability and the countries with the highest waitlists. Whether you are a distinguished professional, an extraordinary talent, or an investor looking to make significant impact, there's an EB visa category that's perfect for you. This is your gateway to new opportunities and a bright future in the United States. Remember, each category has its unique requirements and benefits, and so it's important to carefully consider which one aligns best with your situation and goals. Friends, if you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing and don't forget to like and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all things immigration and visas. I wish you all the very best in your upcoming US visa processing, and until next time, safe travels!